Types of characters. In the last video, we have already worked on the one specific type of characters. Now we are moving ahead, character types that appear in fiction. One way to classify characters is by examining how they change or don't change over the course of time. And today we are going to discuss such characters, those change or not change, and what do we call them. Grouped in this way by character development, character type include the dynamic character, the round character, the static character, the stock character, the flat character, and the symbolic character. Dynamic character. A dynamic character is one whose changes over the course of the story. As such, a dynamic character makes the best protagonist. The development of a dynamic character is often subtle and unstated, and is not due to a change in the character's circumstances. A dynamic character is one who learns a lesson or changes as a person, either for better or for worse. Most main characters and major characters in stories are dynamic. Examples. While dynamic characters are often protagonists of stories, any character from minor characters to antagonist can be dynamic. Here are a few well-known dynamic character examples in movies and literature. Neville Longbottom in Harry Potter series as a frightened evacuated student, as he is shaped by conflicts with his friends and with the antagonist during the plot. His character changes into a brave young man willing to fight for what he believes in right, and at the end of the series. Anakin Skywalker. Anakin's journey in Star Wars is full of significant internal changes, both good and bad. His transformation from Jedi Knight to Sith Lord is a great example of a dynamic character undergoing inner change that is negative. During his progression, he loses his good guy qualities and becomes an antagonist. Round character, closely related to a dynamic character. A round character is a major character which shows fluidity and the capacity for change from the moment we meet them. By contrast, some dynamic protagonists do not change until actions in the story force the change. Round characters can be noble like Constantine, living in Anna Karenina, or morally dubious like Humbert in Lolita. A round character is deep and layered character in a story. Round characters are interesting to audiences because they feel like real people. Audience often feel invested in these characters' goals, successes, failures, strengths, and weaknesses. Round characters are fully realized characters that come into conflict with each other and other characters in believable ways, spurring characters' development. Example of famous round characters in literature includes Elizabeth Bennet in Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. Static character. A static character doesn't noticeably change over the course of the story, sometimes known as a flat character too. These characters often play a tertiary role in a narrative. Think of various parental figures in Roald Dahl's children's books. Their environment may change, but they retain the same personality and outlook as they had at the beginning of the story. It's common for secondary characters in stories to be static. Examples. While static characters are often antagonists of stories, any characters from side character to protagonist can be static. Here are a few well-known static characters in movies and literature. Captain Hook, the main antagonist of Peter Pan. Captain Hook is a cruel and buffoonish pirate. Captain Hook remains cruel and buffoonish throughout the story, ultimately being bested by Peter Pan. He never significantly changes or learns any lessons. Sherlock Holmes. When we talk about Sherlock Holmes, the famous detective undergoes no significant internal changes throughout any of the Arthur Conan Doyle's story. Holmes Scheller continuously regards the world with the same witty, confident attitude even after encountering a serious conflicts. A stock character is an archetypical character with a fixed set of personality traits. Shakespeare's various fools are stock characters, as are some of his comic creations like Sir Andrew and Sir Toby in Twelfth Night. Symbolic character. A symbolic character represents a concept or theme larger than themselves. They may have dynamic qualities, but they also exist to subtly steer an audience's mind towards broader concepts. Most are supporting characters, but some stories have symbolic protagonists, such as Dostoevsky's The Idiot. When it comes to symbolic supporting character, Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird is an example representing a such larger legion of outcasts. Flat character. A flat character is a two-dimensional character lacking depth or a real personality. Usually, flat characters have just one or two perfunctory perfunctory traits, often considered stock characters. Flat characters can often be summarized in one word, like bully or love interest, and never never digress from that transcend their role. A good story is never made up of mostly flat characters. A good story needs to have a balance of round and flat characters. Flat characters still need to serve a specific purpose to propel a story forward in some way. Flat characters are often confused with static characters, and while they are related, they are different concepts. Where a flat character is one that is two-dimensional, a static character is one that does not change throughout the course of the story. Most flat and complex characters are static, unchanged by the end of the story, but not all static characters are flat. Examples of flat characters in literature include Krabby and Goyle and J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series and Elizabeth Proctor in Arthur Miller's The Crucible. The biggest difference between round and flat characters is the character's complexity. Round characters have layers, while flat characters don't. Then next, static characters are the opposite of dynamic characters. While static characters stay the same throughout the story, dynamic characters undergo significant internal. Here there is a character web. Please try to solve it, and then you will be able to write a good character sketch. Thank you. Thank you for watching the video.